Hey everyone, so for my behavior change project I decided to go in a little bit different direction as far as clients. So I will be working with an 85-year-old individual who we'll call Bob, who has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and is currently living in an assisted living community in the memory care unit along with other residents who have also been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. So the behavior that I'll be looking at for Bob is increasing his independence and completion of his morning routine. And there are a number of elements that go along with that morning routine, and I operationally defined each one of those. So getting out of bed will be defined as sitting up, placing both feet on the floor, and raising himself off the bed. Changing his underwear will be defined as getting clean underwear out of the bathroom closet, removing the used or soiled underwear, and putting on the new clean underwear. Getting dressed will be defined as removing sleeping clothes and putting on a clean shirt, pair of pants, pair of socks, and shoes. Washing his face will be defined as applying soap to a washcloth, scrubbing his face with a soapy washcloth for at least 15 seconds, rinsing the soap from his face and drying his face with a towel. Shaving his face will be defined as wetting his face and using a razor to remove hair from his face. And finally, rinsing and putting in his dentures will be defined as turning on the faucet, removing his dentures from their container, running them underwater for at least 10 seconds, and then placing them in his mouth. So the reason Bob was chosen was because fairly recently he lost his wife and kind of started to fall into a bit of a depression, and that behavior has kind of escalated since then, and now he's not wanting to get out of his bed at all. Staff can't get him out of his bed and out of his room, so he's not participating in activities around the assisted living community. And so we want to be able to increase his ability to finish that morning routine and to get out and be able to socialize with staff and other residents. So since there are so many steps to his morning routine, I will be using a task analysis to break down in detail each of the steps and to help Bob work through those. And then I will be collecting data on the percentage of task analysis steps that Bob is able to complete independently and successfully. So during baseline phase, staff will go through their normal interactions with Bob in the morning as far as going into his room and telling him it's time to get up. Everything will be natural interactions, the routine prompts that they already use, business as usual. And then for my intervention, Bob will be provided with an illustrated checklist of the items on his task list that make up that morning routine, and I'll be using total task chaining to help teach him to perform each task in that sequence. So at the beginning of the intervention, I will be using verbal prompts for each of the tasks on the task list, and then fade those prompts throughout the intervention to increase his independence in being able to complete each one of those. I will also be providing supplemental reinforcement in the form of verbal praise after the completion of each task, and then a terminal reinforcer for when he finishes the final task in the chain. And then those reinforcers, the supplemental reinforcers, will obviously be faded systematically over the course of the intervention. And as an experimental design, I chose an ABAB design. Obviously, during both baseline phases, the staff will engage in those normal interactions with Bob. And then during both intervention phases, I'll be using those illustrated task lists. And during both baseline and intervention, I'll be collecting the data on percentage of task analysis items completed successfully. So good luck to everyone on your projects, and I look forward to hearing more.